Welcome to an online platform for draping tutorials. This video serves the beginners to prepare fabric before draping. There are 3 steps for preparing the fabric: tearing, blocking and pressing. Following is the material list for draping subject. A dress form, muslin fabric, ruler or grading scale, fabric cutting scissors, satin ribbon, L-square, pencil, measuring tape, pins, iron, French curve tracing wheel, hip curve and carbon sheets. Step number 1: tearing. Selvage is the narrow, firmly woven finished edge on both sides of the fabric length. Identify the selvage to mark the straight grain line. Draw a straight line parallel to the selvage to identify straight grain. It's very important in draping to work on grain lines. This line will help to identify straight grain. It is important to mark this grain line before starting any drape. To mark a grain line, always use a symbol of a straight line with 2 arrows at each end. Estimate the size of the muslin needed. This length measurement will differ according to the requirements. For example, while draping front borders, this measurement is from neckband to the waistline. Allow a reasonable amount of extra fabric for ease, seam allowance and styling purpose. Do not forget to add these extra inches before starting a drape. Clip the total length of the fabric with sharp fabric scissors. Estimate the width of the muslin needed. This measurement will differ according to the requirements. For example, while draping front borders, this measurement is from center front to side seam. Allow a reasonable amount of extra fabric for ease, seam allowance and styling purpose. Do not forget to add these extra inches before starting a drape. Clip the total width of the fabric with sharp fabric scissors. Clip and tear method. Hold both the clipped corners together. Pull apart both the corners to tear fabric. Tear across the grain lengthwise and widthwise with sufficient pressure to break yarns evenly. Tear from both length and width to get the desired shape. Fabric is now ready for next step: blocking. Step number 2: blocking. Remove complete yarn lengthwise and widthwise to assure that the clip and tear is successfully achieved. Off-grain fabric means the weft or cross grain is not at right angle to the warp or straight grain. There are 2 types of off-grain defects. First is skewing where the weft is diagonal and second is bowing where the weft is bowed towards selvage. These defects occur during weaving and finishing processes. Clip and tear the fabric to determine whether if they're bowing, skewing or both defects in a fabric. French drapers use the method of pulling thread. In this method, a weft yarn is pulled out to gently form gathers. Once the entire weft is pulled, it's easy to determine the off-grain defects like skewing and bowing. Blocking process is done to reshape an off-grain fabric. These pictures indicate the change in fabric before and after blocking. Pull the edges of the fabric diagonally at opposite ends. Continue pulling the fabric until the fabric is squared. Finish the blocking process by pulling the fabric throughout lengthwise and widthwise. The fabric is now perfectly blocked and ready for pressing. Step number 3: pressing. After blocking, the fabric is set by applying steam followed by a dry iron. Do not press in the bias direction as it stretches the fabric. Press the straight grain line by applying steam and press in the lengthwise direction. Then press the cross grain line by applying steam and press in the widthwise direction. The fabric is now ready for draping. Thank you for watching.